Another historic moment for the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, and the Free National Movement government, as the national budget was delivered today in the House of Assembly. The University of the Bahamas giving back as the Grand Bahama Children's Home celebrates their 40th anniversary. And a prominent member of the Grand Bahama community and a native of Bimini has died.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the 2017-2018 budget debate being tabled in the House of Assembly this Wednesday morning by Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest. Minister Turnquest says that a new day has dawned over the Bahamas and presented the Free National Movement's plan for progressive change in the country. Megan Shepherd reports.
The chair recognizes the member for East Grand Bahama.
The governing Free National Movement tabling the budget debate for 2017-2018 in the House of Parliament Wednesday morning. Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama and Minister of Finance, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest says that the people have demonstrated that they demand a change going forward in this country. Minister Turnquest says that the former Progressive Liberal Party lacked management when it came to the nation's finances. He adds that despite revenue collected from the value-added tax, which totaled over $1.1 billion in the first 2 years, the country continued to sink in debt.
In their 5 years, they incurred a total cumulative deficit of over $2.2 billion, and the outstanding government direct debt mushroomed to $6.5 billion, or fully 71.5% of GDP. That represents a 5-year increase of 23.5 percentage points, arguably the single largest run-up in public debt in the history of our nation.
The finance minister says that the health of the Grand Bahama economy is vital to the strength of the national economy, but unfortunately, it has been poorly served under the previous administration. He says the government will move proactively to revitalize this local economy.
Our 2017 manifesto outlines several measures that will be implemented to that end, including the repeal and replacement of the Grand Bahama Port Area Investment Incentives Act 2016, which I have termed a job-killing act, to ensure that all licensees receive equal treatment under the law. Among other measures, we'll promote the Air, Sea, and Land Business Park as a logistics hub focused on international air and sea transshipment, focus on the development of Freeport as an offshore technology hub, realize the tourism sector by working to create a destination brand, facilitate the further development of the medical tourism industry, and promote Grand Bahama as a primary location for the local and international film and television production industry.
He adds that the governing Free National Movement has detailed a concrete plan that will deliver a new and better future that the Bahamian people require.
Our guiding principles for facilitating and strengthening economic growth and job opportunities are based on meaningful collaboration with and participation of the private sector. For a small economy such as ours to compete and prosper in today's global environment, we must build an open, productive, and competitive society and economy. The sustainable growth must be driven by judicious combination of Bahamian entrepreneurship, domestic investment, and creativity, as well as strategic, and I stress the word, strategic, foreign investment.
Megan Shepherd, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Megan. Now, the Minister of Finance also tabled a number of tax relief measures to be implemented. We will have a report on those measures in tomorrow evening's newscast. Also, the new government has made several new appointments. A new chairman and deputy have been selected for the Bank of the Bahamas. Wayne Arena will serve as the bank's new chairman and Tony Allen as his deputy. Former Ambassador to Washington, Joshua Sayers, who also served as Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Health, was appointed as Senior Policy Advisor to the Prime Minister. He replaces Sir Baltrin Bathel, who was Senior Policy Advisor to the former Prime Minister. In other news, a local member of parliament recently elected to serve as addressing the state of Grand Bahama and what needs to happen to move the island forward. Sabrina Brown reports.
Reverend Frederick McAlpine represents the Pine Ridge constituency, an area he describes as the heart of Grand Bahama. The economic state of this northern island is a top priority of the F&M administration. Appearing on the Darrell Miller Live show, Reverend McAlpine said, with thousands of people unemployed on Grand Bahama, he would like to see the hotels on the Lucaya Strip reopened as soon as possible.
We needed souls. We heard that there was talk prior. We want to know, was it just talk? Was it just talk about political expediency? Is there a sale? And if there is a sale, we want to urge the government to push it forward, do what they like. We want due diligence, but we don't want bureaucratic red tapes. Because if the hotel is closed down, the taxi business is low. That means the straw vendors are low. The braiders are low. The sailors of the glass-bottom boat aren't occupying like they should. The touristic activity is at a minimum. Parasailing is not going the way it should be going. Jet skiing isn't going the way it should be going. The grocery stores aren't making money. Grand Bahama, downtown Freeport is half dead.
The newly elected MP believes landing fees at the Grand Bahama International Airport also poses a challenge to the economic growth of the nation's second city.
We must perhaps put profit on the back burner for a season. And this is with regards to landing fees.
Hold on now.
Hold on. Let me complete my statement. So that we could consider the interests of the island. We need to get people here. I want to see more commercial flights coming in. I want to see more promotion of Grand Bahama. I'd like to see more things happening in terms of Grand Bahama. Look, the potential is there. I know what we used to be.
He's also of the view that the city needs to be cleaned up. He's particularly concerned about the many dilapidated buildings around the island.
It is an eyesore to both visitors and to residents alike. If the powers that be, the developers, if they're not going to do anything in the immediate future, we would suggest that these buildings be imploded. I hope that they have all their fees together, their maintenance fees and their tax fees, because the average man, if they don't, they take the property back. It is high time. And we also want that road open up. Because, and then we have
Sunrise.
Yes, that road that is leading to the Princess, we want that road open up.
Reverend McAlpine believes it will take a collaborative effort between the public and private sectors to return Grand Bahama to its glory days. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Member of Parliament for North Abaco and Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Darren Henfield, calling his new position a surreal feeling. Megan Shepherd reports.
Member of Parliament for North Abaco and Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Darren Henfield, calling his new position a surreal feeling. He says he wants a story of elevation, hard work, and perseverance to be an inspiration for young people.
I said to someone, I think I'm living the Bahamian dream. A little boy from Dundastown, joined the military, made okay, and offered myself to serve in another capacity. People accepted me, and here we are. And I hope it speaks hope to others who might see certain offices or certain things as unattainable, but they're not. And that's the kind of Bahamas that I want our children to grow up in.
The Abaco native says that he wants to use his decades of experience in the Defense Force to bring about real change to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He says the way forward is to marry strategic efforts along with policies being put forward.
For instance, I've seen operationally in real time what poaching can do to our economy. I've seen what illegal migration does to us. And so I think some of our policies should be geared toward more resolving these issues than just the regular things that we do with our regional and territorial and international partners like CARICOM and the OAS and the United Nations. I think we need to effect real-time policies like say for instance with the fishing issue that we have in the Dominican Republic. The Dominicans I know from being in the Defense Force, they come across the median line between ourselves and Cuba, they drop off their small boats and then they drift back across.
Another area of concern is illegal migration.
In the early 80s, when we had a real drug problem in this country, the Americans entered into a comprehensive maritime agreement with us, which allowed them to put their vessels within our internal waters and allowed our Marines to do boardings from their platforms. Perhaps I dream, but I see no reason why we can't work out a similar arrangement or something of the sort with the Haitian government so that we can help save Haitian lives at sea and we can cut down on illegal migration from that country because the cost just continues to grow. It's been more than 50 years we've been faced with the same one challenge. And I think foreign affairs should be geared toward resolving some of these issues. Not that they're not trying, not that we're not doing now, because we have wonderful technical and administrative staff who work hard every day to make the Bahamas better, to make it more secure, and to make it more economically viable. And I think that's the push for foreign affairs under my watch.
The Member of Parliament for North Abaco is calling for some patience from his constituents. He says he wants to reassure them that North Abaco community remains a priority. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us, there's more news right after this.